hayawan to, ganyan. Marami kami doon na nasa watch party no na nanonood. At talaga kami, frustrated kami doon sa unang sagot ni BBM na gusto raw niyang makipag-peace talks. Pagkatapos, bumalik yung SMNI after commercial break. AJ Mondejar clarified the question. There are 2 peace talks that since ilang beses na mention ng peace talks doon sa tanong kanina. And I think, feeling ko impromptu yung question na yun, in-insert kasi parang, dahil nga ang daming tumaas ng kilay doon sa sinabing peace talks, na-agree si BBM sa peace talks. Kinlaro ni AJ Mondejar yung question. Sabi ni AJ Mondejar, since na ilang beses na mention ng peace talks, at nung panahon ni Duterte, sinubukang gawin ang peace talks sa level ng CPP, NPA, NDF at localized peace talks through NTF-ELCAC. At yung localized peace talks na NTF-ELCAC was proven to be very, very effective. Kung kayo ang magiging presidente, ano ang itutuloy ninyo? Peace talks sa taas o localized peace talks? And BBM answered! Localized peace talks yung gusto niyang i-perpetuate. Yun yung sagot niya. And so, I just want to remind everyone what kind of a liar BBM is. Hindi yan yung sagot mo kasi had you clarified in that SMNI debate na willing kang makipag-peace talk sa CPP, NPA, NDF, hindi mo nakuha yung boto ko. Ang mga ulo-ulo for today. Ayan. Yung tawag dito, pwede ka naman daw na hindi magalit kumbaga, pwede ka naman daw mabadrip kay Martin Romualdez nang hindi na mabadrip kay BBM. Ganyan. If you are a supporter of policies of Inday Sara Duterte at doon sa mga pinaglalaban ni Inday Duterte, at since nga sila ay nagkakatablahan ni Martin Romualdez, pwede naman daw na ikaw ay magalit kay Martin Romualdez na hindi nagagalit kay PBBM. Ayan.
Mas maganda to, girl. Ayoko na yan. Diyos ko na settle na yan. Ito ng Dilimas womanhood na lang daw. Dilimas womanhood.
Yung ito-demanda niya yung nag-degrade ng kanyang womanhood. Yan ba?
Sandali, basahin mo nga. Hindi ko kasi nakaban dito ang Inquirer eh. So, hindi ko talaga siya mabasa.
Oo. Delima to suing vloggers that degraded her as a woman. Ayan.
Sino mga pinangalanan? Si Delima.
May pinangalanan ba?
Mm.
So sabi, bloggers who had spread fake news and malicious disinformation against recently released former Senator Leila de Lima should brace themselves for possible court cases that are now under study by her legal team. The charges could include libel, cyber libel, defamation, slander, and assault to honor. De Lima was granted bail last month after almost 7 years in detention. Ayan. Meron ba? Parang wala namang pinangalanan.
Meron ata si RJ.
Teka. Oy! Uso, Nieto at si Lopez. Ito pala, oo nga, may pinangalanan pala.
Ano sinabi? Paano pagkasabi? Hindi ko mabasa yung article eh.
Ito. Uson Nieto Lopez. But she is aware of those vloggers, De Lima said, adding that identifying these people and verifying what they posted would be easy since most of their incriminating social media posts are still accessible. Most of the posts came from personalities known to be Duterte supporters who were later given plum government positions. Many of those who insulted her were paid by the previous administration, so insulting her became the norm, De Lima said. Many were just doing what Duterte was doing and they thought it was fashionable at that time. They utilized social media in order to destroy the public persona of some who happens to be the enemy of the most powerful person in the country. Okay, eto na. A search of previous posts on the Mocha Uson blog Facebook page, for example, showed September 2016 CNN video showing De Lima empathically proclaiming her innocence in the drug cases. Yet Uson, a former Presidential Communications Operations Office Assistant Secretary, put a caption on the video in Filipino that translates to, De Lima is having tantrums again. Yun ba? Thinking Pinoy, in 2017, Thinking Pinoy Facebook page run by Ray Joseph Nieto showed the blogger and another social media personality, Mike Acevedo Lopez. Hindi pala si Papi Mark to. Mike Acevedo Lopez posing before De Lima's office with an edited image of the senator behind bars. Another post by Nieto in March 2021 contained suggestive words alluding to De Lima alleged relationship with her driver. Nieto was a former...
Bakit alleged? Bakit alleged eh?
Okay, inamin yun sa...
Inamin naman niya yun.
Totoo. Nieto was a former consultant of the Department of Foreign Affairs while Lopez was a former member of National Youth Commission. When asked to apologize for the taunting photos taken in front of De Lima's office, Nieto refused, saying he was entitled to his own political opinion. Ayan. Ayun pala, so tatlo pala silang pinangalanan, ano?
Kaya nga, yun ang eksena. Can you imagine yung sample nila kay Mocha is pinost yung CNN at sinabi lang ni Mocha na nagtatantrum siya naman si De Lima.
Ano yun?
So, how exactly so, ibig sabihin, kaya nga itong si Darla, ano nga lang siya, she's just out to, parang, girl, si GMA nga, no, nakalaya, wala namang ganyan, mas malala nga yung mga pinagagawa kay GMA.
True!
Nakita mo ba, makikita mo parang, bakit naman nag-besmirch ang iyong womanhood, Laila?
Dahil sinabihan kang nagtantrum. Diba?
Diba? Na parang, girl, are you serious with that? Na, ano to, yung alleged relationship with the driver? Paano alleged? Ikaw na mismo ang tinanong ni Maring Winnie about that at sinabi mo, frailties of a woman.
Oo.
Parang, girl, ano yun? Walang karapatan ng taong bayan mag-react sa sasabihin mo?
Correct. Yun ang gusto nila. Dapat
nakakaloko.
Hindi ka magre-react.
Hindi ko gets yung paano naging live. Yun yung mga kinuha nilang ano. Paano libelous yun? Alam mo, ano? Ganun kababaw?
Tapos yung kay Mike Acevedo Lopez at saka kay RJ Nieto, yung nagpicture sila yata, yung parang naka-ano sila, meron yun, di ba yung viral na picture nila sa Senate, sa pintuan ni Leila de Lima. Ayun. Kasi sinabi yata nila na masaya si nakulong.
Ano lang yan? Panakot sa mga vloggers. Simple as that na, bawal na kayo, kasi kakasuhan ko kayo. Kaya makikita mo talaga na, well, Gloria Arroyo is much better than you. Si Gloria Arroyo, kung ano pinagsabi ng mga tao, meron ba siyang kinasuhan ng libel? Kinasuhan ba siya ng degrading my womanhood? Pareho lang naman kayong napakawalan. Binalikan ka ba ni Gloria? Di ba ikaw nagpakulong dyan? Hindi ka mabinalikan, dinedba ka na. Girl, mas degrading nga yung ginawa nila kay Gloria eh.
Oo.
Yung sa airport?
Oo, yung in-HDO siya na hindi naman
ikaw nga, Laila, bago ka hulihin. Napakiusapan mo pa nga, di ba? Yung sabi mo, sandali lang po, kasi nga gusto pa niyang basitahin yung pamilya niya. Yung pamilya niya, di ba? May ganung emerald.
Pinagbigyan po. Diyos me.
Pinagbigyan ka pa. Pero yun na nga, ang ano ko kay Laila is, kung ako kay Laila, alam mo Laila, pag ipagpapatuloy mo tong route na to, you will be judged harshly by history. Ganun na kasi.
Kasi ang problem kasi, people like Leila de Lima, she indulged in sloganeering Yun nga yung...
hindi pa ba sapat sa'yo, girl? Hindi pa ba sapat sa'yo na hindi ka na national for second term? Diba? Kasi nga, paano ka, girl? Can you imagine, ididemanda mo yung vlogger?
Oo. Dahil sinabihan ka nag-tantrum. Do you really think the future generation would judge you well? Bakla, isipin mo nga sino. Kasi syempre, I am assuming that the future generation would be more intelligent than us. So can you imagine if you assume that they're gonna be more intelligent than us and then they read that, Laila de Lima, dinimanda ang vlogger dahil sinabihan siyang nag-tantrums. Diyos me! Ilang beses naman talaga siya nag-tantrums, diba?
Baka i-demanda ka.
Kasi hindi, kagaya nung naalala mo yung meron siyang yung parang nasa Congress yun, parang lahat na ginawa niyo sa akin. Yung nagaganon-ganon siya.
Yung ganyan ba kayong mga lalaki? And you call yourselves men?
Yung mga ganon.
Ako naman parang, ha?
Teka, natin, balikan natin, ha? Hindi ba tantrum yun? Teka. Hindi ba tantrum yun? Yung nag-ano siya? Yung, parang kakatapos lang ng session sa Senado, di ba? Yung, kasi pa yun doon pa sa, yung press con doon pa sa ginawa Ano yun? Leila.
Ako na lang. Di ba?
Saan na ba yun? Ito. Nakakaloka. Ito yata yung ito yung nino-normalize ng ganitong... Ayan. Sorry, wait. Ito, grabe yung facial expression. O, diba? Paano yung pagka tinawag mo yan?
Diba? Anong eksena?
So, paano yan? Diba? Paano yun? Pagka i-describe mo yung mga ganun niya, anong tawag dun? Talaga namang nagme-meltdown siya dun. Emotional moment of her life, diba?
Yun ang eksena. So, can you imagine yung example? Girl, wala bang mas matindi dun sa example ibinigay mo? Na sinabihan ka nagtatantrums?
Oo. Diyos me.
Kasi alam mo, ang pwede kong gawin dyan, spurious case to na parang, girl, you're the Senator of the Philippines, tapos nasaktan ka dahil sinabihan ka nagtatantrums?
True. Ito nakakaloka. Bakit may premium? Bakit may premium sa ano? Hanapin mo yung post ni Mocha. Bakit may premium na parang meron siyang pinaglalaban na matindi? 'Di ba? Asa kaya yung ano? September daw September na video ni Mocha. Asa na nga yun? September 2016. 2016, September 2016. Saan kaya to?
Oh my God, tinitingnan ko yung mga posts ko ng 2022, girl. Pero pala, ito nakakaloka kanina ng Inquirer. The IBP did not mention any incident in particular, but recently, the daughter of Vice President Leni Robredo Aika was the target of fake posts about a supposed lewd video which turned out to be not existing.
Yan yung supposedly parang video.
Nalala mo yung non-existent sex video ni Aika. Na parang,
bakla, unang-una, grabe ka naman mag-assume na magkakaroon ng interest yung mga taong panoorin yung sex video mo. Diba? Medyo rin yun parang, parang naman ma-feeling na una, may sex video ka ba? Kung may sex video ka, gano'n ka naman ka sure na pagkakaguluhan ng mga tao yung sex video mo, 'di ba? Ang Pilipinas, number 1 tayo sa panonood ng ng mga porn sites, 'di ba? So, ibig ko sabihin, maraming diyan, maraming mapipili ng mga materials, sa mga corn materials. Just hindi naman yan, anyway, hindi naman nila nailabas ever. Ayan. Hinahanap ko yung Mocha. Ay. De Lima. De Lima. Ito. Ay, so yun nga, yung pinakita kong video kanina, yun nga yung video ni Yun nga yung video na tinawag ni ni Mocha na nagtatantrums. Ang post ni Mocha, nagtatantrums na si De Lima, ano masasabi niyo mga ka-DDS? Yun yung gusto nilang kasuhan. Oh my God! Ayan nga. Ito, nagtatantrums si De Lima, ano masasabi niyo? Yun na yun. Ayun. So anyway, ayan. Meron ko pa bang naiisip na ulo-ulo? Wala na akong maisip na ulo-ulo. Wala akong maisip na ulo-ulo. Cosmological woman of the universe.
Ako rin na-cover na natin lahat. Diyos ko, Lord.
Oo nga.
I-replay nyo na lang.
Grabe ang dami kong natutunan this afternoon. Tsaka sobrang
Like what? Ano mga learnings mo this afternoon?
Yung solid foundation ng unconstitutionality unconstitutionality nung exercise ng ICC ng judicial power here in the Philippines. Kasi
kasi go explain.
Oo. Kasi tawag dito, it basically puts BBM's hand tied na parang even if mag-flip si BBM, he would not be powerful enough to, 'di ba? To power through yung legal challenges nitong exercise ng ICC ng judicial power here. So, kumbaga parang kahit pa sabihin na, kasi, 'di ba, kunwari, for some reason, sabihin ni BBM na, okay, ICC, mag-investigate na kayo dito sa Pilipinas. Kunwari mag-decide siya ng ganon. 'Di ba? Kunwari mag-decide, even if PBBM is going to flip, these questions is something that, 'di ba? I do not think well, it's very interesting. How are they going to hurdle this? How are they going to hurdle this unconstitutional question? So,
exactly, kasi nga, unang-una, ayon sa batas, it is the state that shall exercise jurisdiction over the crime against humanity. Yan ang nakalagay sa batas natin eh. At yun ang required. Hindi na mandatory na ibibigay mo yung aanuhin mo yung responsibilidad mo. Diba? Kasi pwede rin i-question kung meron kang abuse ng discretion sa pag-give up mo ng iyong responsibilidad to investigate or prosecute crimes against humanity na ikaw mismo. Kaya nga aabot yan sa Supreme Court. Ngayon, kailangan ng BBM administration, bakit mo gini-give up yung jurisdiction mo? Anong basihan sa Constitution? Hindi mo kasi pwedeng sabihin, hindi kasi nakalagay sa Rome Statute. Babalik ka pa rin. Is the Rome Statute constitutional?
And ang tawag dito, comforting actually siya. It's very comforting to fully understand the constitutional issue of ICC exercising its judicial power here in the Philippines.
Kasi may precedent, meron tayong may precedent yung sa Ireland.
It just can't.
It cannot. Kailangan mo, kasi nga it's the same fundamental question. Magkaiba pa tayo ng justice system sa Ireland. We basically have the same. Diba, ang tanong nila is, kailangan pa nilang magpa-referendum para i-accept ang jurisdiction ng ICC kasi nga it will amend their constitution.
There is going to be a transfer of
sovereignty,
on certain crimes. So,
yes. Kasi absolute yung sovereignty eh. It's absolute. Lahat ng krimen na nangyari sa territory mo, ikaw ang may absolute jurisdiction.
And that aspect is basically going to be surrendered if we are going to allow ICC here. Diba?
Kaya nga pakinggan nila yung sinabi ng matanda again. He can only be prosecuted by a Filipino prosecutor, sentenced by a Filipino judge, jailed in a Filipino jail. So yun lang, hanggang doon na lamang ako. Ikaw, meron ka ba bang huling habilin?
Yun lang. I think natalakay natin yung yung sa Supreme Court decision, yung kasi yan actually lagi rin niyang nami-mention sa mga TikTok discussion yung Supreme Court decision na nagsasabi na ICC can exercise jurisdiction on certain dates, ganyan. Kasi so many pro ICC would quote this, pakita nga natin yung part na yun ng decision ni yung sa bandang dulo ng part ng Nabasa ko na to before actually. Ayan,
diba?
Yung part. Yung mechanism, further, the International Criminal Court retains jurisdiction over any and all acts committed by government actors until March 17, 2019. Hence, withdrawal from the Rome Statute does not affect the liabilities of individuals charged before the International Criminal Court for acts committed up to this date.
That is according to the Rome Statute. Pero the question is, according to our Constitution, ano ngayon yung source ng judicial power ng ICC? Kasi ba doon babalik ang fundamental question. Did our Constitution, is the judicial power of the ICC compatible with our Constitution? Kasi wala pa sumasagot Ang parating nila kasi we have obligation, but that's not the question. The question is, yeah, we have obligation, but we can prosecute it here. We can prosecute it in the Philippines. Duterte can be prosecuted in the Philippines. Why do you need to give it to the ICC? Well, our international obligation is to prosecute crimes against humanity. Nagets niyo, yun ang ating obligation sa international human rights, that these crimes should be crimes in the Philippines. And it is already crimes na sila. So ngayon, ang tanong, bakit ka nag-hand over ng judicial power sa isang foreign body? Nasaan? Anong basihan? Anong constitutional reason? Anong constitutional anchor?
Sabi ni Mark Anthony, ang problema if makapasok sila, sino ang pulis na gagamitin nila para manghuli? Pinoy. Well, yun nga.
Hindi pa ka dyan.
Oo. At saka even if akong kunwari dumating tayo dun sa point na mag-flip si PBBM at makikooperate na siya. Ngayon kasi ang stand ni PBBM, hindi siya makikooperate at all di ba? Yun yung stand yun yung sinasabi. Yun nga yung ulo-ulo situation na parang, pumunta kayo dito, mag-investigate kayo kung gusto ninyo, pero hindi kami makikikooperate. So basically, parang, sinasabi lang niya, pasok kayo, basta wag nyo lang isagad, ganon. Pero what if, kunwari, bumaligtad si PBBM at sabihin niya na talaga na hindi, idiin nyo na, ipasok nyo na ng buo, eto ang kamay ko, tutulungan ko kayo, ganyan-ganyan. Ang point nga nung discussion is, whatever they're going to do, let's say nag-flip sila, it's going to open a floodgate of questions about the constitutionality of such cooperation. Kasi pagka nakikooperate ka na, basically inalaw mo nang i-exercise yung kanilang judicial power here. And if that's the case, ito yung mga kailangan nilang sagutin. Ayun. So wala pa naman tayo doon kasi ngayon nagpapakita.
Binibigyan ko pa sila ng heads up.
Oo.
Yeah, binibigyan ko pa sila ng heads up. Actually, pwede lang kasi nga hindi pa sila nag-exercise ng power etc. Right? So, the thing is, halimbawa, isyuhan ng warrant of arrest si Duterte ng ICC. Well, the enforceability of that warrant of arrest would go all the way up to the Supreme Court of the Philippines. Gets niyo na. Ayun, ang unang-unang question dyan is, sino ba ang may karapatang mag-issue ng warrant of arrest in the Philippines? Yung may judicial power. Di ba? Tama? Tama? Only those with judicial power can issue a warrant of arrest in the Philippines. Next question. ICC issued a warrant of arrest. Nasaan ngayon sa judicial system natin ang ICC?
Oo, ang mga natin, ang ini-implement nila, we have a very, very technical definition of warrant of arrest. Diba? It must be issued by a judge. Diba? Is a judge of ICC a judge recognized in our jurisdiction?
Yes, by our constitution, by our rules of court. May rules. Girl, all courts established by law will need to abide by the rules of Court of the Philippines.
Oo. Actually, ang ano no, yung if I'm going to summarize everything, or at least if I would want everyone to have a takeaway this afternoon, this discussion actually protects ano no, yung, of course we're talking about this na parang theoretical level, and we want to understand na pinoprotektahan nito yung ating soberanya. But on the political side, actually, itong mga discussion na to, this actually protects PRRD. And it is a very, very strong legal protection kay PRRD. Kasi, biruin mo, isang kibot nila, anything that they're going to do to exercise judicial power over PRRD, it's going to open a floodgate of constitutional question on such action. Mag-issue sila ng warrant of arrest, mag-issue sila ng order, PRRD sumagot ka dito sa ano namin, ganyan. Lahat ng gagawin ng ICC, every step of the way, would open a floodgate of constitutionality question.
Oo, kasi ang unang-una dyan is i-issuean siya ng warrant of arrest. That warrant of arrest will be challenged all the way to the Supreme Court.
Oo.
Kasi bakit hindi yan pwedeng i-challenge sa Supreme Court? Sa anong nagbigay ng karapatan sa ICC to be higher than the Supreme Court?
Oo. Why do we allow to have a ghost court? 'Di ba?
Na parang siyang ghost. Bigla ka nagkaroon ng supranational court. Kaya nga yung Republic of Ireland, kailangan nilang amyendahan yung kanilang constitution kasi nagkaroon sila ng another layer of government on certain, na magkakaroon ng jurisdiction on certain crimes. That's why they needed to change their constitution. Tayo, bakit sa tingin natin, hindi natin kailangan i-change natin ang constitution in order to accommodate this extra layer of judicial department? Anong logic natin doon? Kaya nga wala nga yan eh. So, hindi, yan, kailangan, binibigyan ko na sila ng heads up. Heads up, mga pro-ICC. Sa lahat, mga nakikinig ko sa akin, tuwing mag-encounter kayo ng ganyan, tatanungin ninyo ang mga pro-ICC sa buhay ninyo. Nasaan sa Constitution natin na merong judicial power over the Philippines ang ICC? Paano sila nabigyan? So, iisa lang yan. Iisang section lang ang nagbigay sa Constitution ang nagsabi tungkol sa judicial power at kung kanino ito. Article 8?
8, oo. Article 8.
So that's only Article
Section 1.
It's only Article 8, Section 1. So ngayon, tatanungin niyo yung mga nasa buhay ninyo, kahit kung lawyer, nasaan ang ICC sa Section 1, Article 8? Diba? Issuing a warrant of arrest is a judicial function of judicial power. So, tanungin niyo yan. Paano nagkaroon ng judicial power over the Philippines ang ICC according to our Constitution? As simple as that. Kailangan nilang ipaliwanag, kailangan nilang i-explain in accordance to Section 1, Article 8 of the 1987 Constitution. So, binigyan ko na yun na kayo ng heads up, mga pro-ICC, yan ang sagutin ninyo. Paano naging compatible ang judicial power ng ICC sa Section 1, Article 8 ng Constitution?
True.
So, yun lang. Maraming salamat. At ikaw, meron ko pa ba sabihin?
Yun lang, and it's a lot to digest, but it's a very fruitful afternoon. Dahil talaga guys, parang take time to really understand. Take time to really understand. Kasi talaga siya. ano siya ang tawag dito, lalo na sa nangyayari ngayon, yung you cannot rely on what PBBM is saying, ganyan-ganyan. So, sa totoo lang, even if PBBM is going to flip, 'di ba? Even if PBBM is going to flip on this, harapin niya itong question na to. So, how is he going to do that? 'Di ba? The more reason para hindi mag-flip si BBM sa decision niya.
Ito sinasabi niya hindi sila magko-cooperate. They will let them in, pero hindi sila magko-cooperate. Girl, you cannot do indirectly what you cannot do directly.
Oo. Actually, nung sinabi mo, di ba Sas, pwede naman mag-investigate yung ICC ng armchair yung hindi sila pupunta dito sa Philippines at all.
Yeah.
Di ba? Pwede naman nilang gawin yon. Why do you have to issue a statement na if they come here and they can investigate naman, di ba? Yung parang, why not say they're not welcome at all? Ngayon, kung mag-investigate sila ng armchair at gagawin nila yun sa labas ng bansa, di mo na mapipigilan kung gagawin ng ICC yun Pero make a hard stand that you cannot come over to investigate. The mere fact na sinabi mo that they can come over and investigate here, pero hindi kami makikikooperate, ulo-ulo, yun nga, kaya nga diba, ang mabuting balita mula kay Juliana Parescova, ay lahat ng nangako na ulo-ulo lang ay nagsisinungaling. 'Di ba? Lahat ng nangako na ulo-ulo lang nagsisinungaling.
Ito papanood ko sa itong trial nung withdrawal. Bilang huling habilin ko sa ito, Joey, no?
Ayan.
Para makagawa ka. Bigay ko sa yung yung YouTube link. Ayan. Nakalimutan ko ng oras. So ito, no? Tinanong ni Leonen si Attorney Santiago, counsel ng mga petitioners ng ICC withdrawal. Tanong ni Leonen, you trust foreigners to rule on crimes more than the Supreme Court and our lower courts? Sagot ni Santiago, Your Honor, if there is an inability to bring cases before the courts, Leonen asked, is there an inability? We go around in circles. What is the situation now? Is there an inability of our trial courts? You tell us because we are here in the Supreme Court. Magsumbong ka. Is there inability of our trial courts to attend to human rights cases? The lawyer said, there is no inability, Your Honor. Leonen answered, no inability. Is there an unwillingness of our courts to attend to human rights cases? Santiago said, not with the courts, Your Honor. Leonen, not with the courts. Nag-guess yung tanong ni Leonen, you trust foreigners to rule on crimes more than the Supreme Court in our lower courts. Kaya nga itong si Leonen, yung decision ni Leonen sa jurisdiction, it's not about the Constitution. It is about what the Rome Statute says. Hindi pa nare-resolve.
Hindi siya nagsasalita in light of whether or not there is jurisdiction. Nagsasalita siya based on what the Rome Statute would dictate.
Yeah.
If ever that you're going to if ever you're going to accede to it. 'Di ba?
So yun na nga. Ang eksena nun, yun na nga. So panoorin mo, nakalimutan ko kung anong oras yan. Pero pinanood ko yung trial. Pinanood ko yan So nag-uusap sila, diba? Yun ang tanong ni Leonen. You trust foreigners to rule on crimes more than Supreme Court or lower courts. Kaya nga itong si Leonen, alam niya. Kasi nga, itong mga dilaw, do not be, huwag kayong magpapakalagulalo pag nagka-Leonen na punta yan, is mapanigin sa inyo. Kasi nga, that's the fundamental question You trust foreigners to rule on crimes more than the Supreme Court and our lower courts. That's his question.
Correct.
So good luck na lang sa inyong lahat. And so, yung mga pro-ICC, binigyan ko na yun ng heads up. Nasaan ang ICC sa judicial system ng Pilipinas? Is it higher or lower than the Supreme Court? And if it's higher than the Supreme Court, what gave it Sinong nag-create? Can international treaty create a court higher than the Supreme Court? Hindi ka po pwede, kasi you need a hierarchy of courts sa Pilipinas Hindi ka po pwede magsabi, hindi yung court nag-i-exist lang. Hindi po pwede. Kasi may system of appeals Maraming rights ang maapektuhan if it's unclear kung anong klaseng korte ito. Do you remember kung bakit naging unconstitutional yung Truth Commission ni Pinoy?
Truth Commission niya na-declare na unconstitutional.
Tapos sabi ni Rex Lazaro, next topic sana sa potential petition sa Supreme Court on overturned EDCA. Nanalo na po yung mga pro-EDCA noon. Actually, maganda yung dissenting opinion ni Leonen. I think that will be looked upon by our generation. Kung naging matalino ni mga generation natin, I think that dissenting opinion of Leonen would be looked upon by our generation as one of the most beautiful moments in our political history, in our generation. Kasi ang unang-una dung linya ng ng dissenting opinion ni Marvick Leonen, ni Judge Marvick Leonen, was the vote from General Luna.
The vote from, ano?
The quote from General Luna.
The quote from General Luna.
Yung, the infamous. Parang kayo mga birheng naniniwala sa pag-ibig ng isang puta. Can you imagine yung dissenting opinion niya starting with that, quote? So yun. So, kung naging mas matalino na yung mga future generation natin, ngayon kung hindi naging mas matalino yung future generation natin, pareho pa rin, then, final words na talaga to.
Final. Well, yun. Tawag dito, at least this afternoon is not very, it's not so very, yung argument on the unconstitutionality of ICC's exercise would be exercise of judicial power here is really comforting. Kumbaga parang magandang bala siya moving forward. Ayun. Pero sa isang banda, ang depressing nung action ng government on the exploratory talks with the NDF. I still cannot understand and still cannot fathom the rhyme or reason why they have to go that route. And sa totoo lang, for me, because of that incident, I think the worst the worst is it's all going it's gonna go all downhill from here. Ganon yung feeling ko na parang puta ito na, parang na to. Ito na yung I remember kasi nung SMNI debates. Tinanong yan si yung mga presidentiables, 'di ba? What can you say about peace talks? Pagkatapos, ang sagot ni BBM dyan, peace talks maganda yan. Parang it is something that we should do para makamit talaga natin yung tunay na kapayapaan, kenemerlu, ganyan. Pagkatapos, nagkaroon ng commercial break. Nagkaroon kami ng watch party sa TikTok nung SMNI debate. And at that moment, nung sinabi ni BBM yon, our reaction, sabi namin nun, ano yung sinasabing peace talks ni BBM? Anong peace talk? Sabi ko, make or break to ha. Pag ito nakipag-peace talk sa NPA, ayawan to, ganyan. Marami kami doon na, nasa watch party na nanonood. At talaga kami, frustrated kami doon sa unang sagot ni BBM na gusto raw niyang makipag-peace talks. Pagkatapos, bumalik yung SMNI after commercial break. AJ Mondejar clarified the question. There are two peace talks that since ilang beses na mention ng peace talks doon sa tanong kanina. And I think, feeling ko impromptu yung question na yun, in-insert Kasi parang, dahil nga ang daming tumaas ng kilay doon sa sinabing peace talks, na-agree si BBM sa peace talks. Kinlaro ni AJ Mondejar yung question. Sabi ni AJ Mondejar, since na ilang beses na mention ng peace talks, at nung panahon ni Duterte, sinubukang gawin ang peace talks sa level ng CPP, NPA, NDF at localized peace talks through NTF-ELCAC. At yung localized peace talks na NTF-ELCAC was proven to be very, very effective. Kung kayo ang magiging presidente, ano ang itutuloy ninyo? Peace talks sa taas o localized peace talks? And BBM answered! Localized peace talks yung gusto niyang i-perpetuate. Yun yung sagot niya. And so, I just want to remind everyone what kind of a liar BBM is. Hindi yan yung sagot mo. Kasi, had you clarified in that SMNI debate na willing kang makipag-peace talk sa CPP, NPA, NDF, hindi mo nakuha yung boto ko.
Doon na tayo magtatapos.
Doon na tayo magtatapos.
Doon na tayo magtatapos. Thank you so much. At i-replay nyo na lang to kung may gusto kayong marami po kaming diniscuss ng mga ulo-ulo lang topic. Siguro ito si Joey, i-download niya to at i-chop-chop na to. Itong namin. No? Maganda i-chop-chop siya, Joey. Talaga na pinag-usapan natin. Maraming salamat. Thank you. At ano muna sana to sa Facebook. Bye!
Bye!